Pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-2920, Taft City Council meetings will be held in the following manner. Effective October 20th, 2020, City Council meetings will be providing seating for 6 attendees on a first-come, first-served basis. Attendees must wear masks in order to enter the building. Meetings will continue to be live streamed, and public comment can also still be received per the city's policy in response to the Governor's Executive Order N-2920. First, in order to protect our constituents, city officials, and city staff, all public meetings until further notice will be held with limited attendees in order to allow for social distancing. City Council meetings will be live streamed in real time on our YouTube channel by searching for City of Taft City Clerk on YouTube or at this link, www.youtube.com/user/City of Taft. Secondly, public comments for City Council meetings will be accepted in the following manner. In person, public comments will be accepted up until 5 p.m. the day of the meeting. Written comments may be dropped off in the drop box in front of City Hall. Comments may be emailed to the city clerk at ymayfield@cityoftaft.org, made by phone to the city clerk's office at 661-763-1222. All comments received will be read into the record. And lastly, should a member of the public prefer to speak during the live portion of the meetings, they shall contact the city clerk prior to the time listed above and provide a contact phone number, be available during the meeting times of 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You will be contacted at the phone number you provide and placed on speaker to address the council during the meeting time. Conduct in the City Council chambers. Rules of decorum for the public. Members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of loud, threatening, or abusive language, clapping, whistling, stamping of feet, or other acts which disturb, disrupt, impede, or otherwise render the orderly conduct of the city meeting infeasible. A member of the audience engaging in any such conduct shall, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of the City Council, be subject to ejection from the meeting per Government Code Section 54954.3c. Removal from the council chambers. Any person who commits the following acts in respect to a meeting of the city shall be removed from the council chambers per Government Code Section 54954.3c. A, disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior towards the City Council or any member thereof, tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. A breach of peace, boisterous conduct, or violent disturbance tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. Disobedience of any lawful order from the mayor, which shall include an order to be seated or to refrain from addressing the City Council, and any other unlawful interference with the due and orderly course of said meeting. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regularly scheduled joint meeting of the Taft City Council Successor Agency for Tuesday, May the 18th, 2021. We're going to begin this evening's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Evelyn, followed by an invocation from Max Ivy. So if you'll join me, please.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we just come here now recognizing that every good thing comes from you, God. We also realize that all people who are given authority or a position is appointed by you. So I am so thankful, Father, for this group of people that you have given this time to, that you have given us the ability to be people that are community-minded, that are seeking the good of everyone around us, God, and we're just asking that each day you would turn our hearts and our minds to you, that we would bring you glory, God, that people would come to know you and be saved because of your Son, Jesus, and that in and amongst us, Lord, here in this community, we would be able to work for your good to the betterment of people's lives. So thank you, God, for the men and women that are serving this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Matt. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer,
Here.
Councilmember Bryant,
Here.
Councilmember Eveland,
Here.
Councilmember Whiting,
Here.
and Mayor Knorr.
Here. All right, first item on this evening's agenda are a couple of proclamations. The first proclamation is the Fellows American Legion Post 63 100th anniversary, their centennial celebration. Councilman, I do believe that you asked that this be placed on the agenda. I am going to read this, and then you can discuss this during your comments, if that will work for you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. So here we have it, and I'm going to show you this. It's absolutely beautiful. I know it's going to hang in the Legion, newly redecorated, beautiful Legion. And if you haven't been there, by all means, take the opportunity to get down there. The city of Taft, state of California, recognizing the Fellows American Legion Post 63 on the celebration of its 100th birthday. Whereas the American Legion was chartered by Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veterans organization focusing on service to veterans, service members, and communities. And whereas in May 1921, after World War I had ended, the Fellows American Legion Post 63 was certified and chartered by the American Legion National Headquarters. And whereas the post began in Fellows, California, and in the beginning, member numbers were relatively low, but with veterans returning home from World War II, member numbers grew dramatically. Whereas during the years of the post existence, it has become very involved in the community, sponsoring countless boys to attend boys' state, and most high school and college football games were preceded by the presentation of colors by the post. And whereas every parade has been led by a detachment of Legionnaires from Post 63, carrying the colors, and the Fellows Post, along with the West Side Cemetery District, presents the Memorial Day Remembrance Program for citizens of the West Side. And whereas the members of the American Legion are dedicated to upholding the ideals of freedom and democracy while working to make a difference in the lives of fellow Americans. Now, therefore, the Taft City Council takes great pleasure in recognizing the Fellows American Legion Post 63 on their 100th birthday. We hereby commend the members who have been a part of this great veteran service organization over the last 100 years and wish them continued success. Dated this day, the 18th day of May, 2021, signed by myself and all 4 council members. So, to the men and women who are a part of the American Legion and the Post, congratulations, happy birthday. We don't have anybody here this evening to accept this. However, it's going to be presented by you, Mayor Pro Tem, if I'm not mistaken, at the celebration. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct, Mayor.
All right, that's fantastic. Okay, next up is going to be another proclamation, and this is for Public Works Week. And I have asked that Councilman Bryant read this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's my distinct pleasure on behalf of the City Council to read this proclamation declaring May 16th through the 22nd of 2021 as Public Works Week in the City of Taft. Whereas public works services provided in our community are a vital and integral part of our citizens' everyday lives. And whereas the support of the community is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as building maintenance, streets, fleet maintenance, sewer line maintenance and construction, as well as wastewater treatment. And whereas, though health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depend on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Taft that we recognize and extend appreciation to our dedicated and skilled staff, and hereby proclaim the week of May 16th through the 22nd of 2021 as Public Works Week in the City of Taft, and be it further proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Taft requests that all citizens and civic organizations acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing public works services to our community, and to recognize the contributions which our public works employees make every day to the health, safety, comfort, and quality of life that the citizens of Taft enjoy. Dated this day, the 18th of May, 2021, and signed by the mayor and 4 council members. It's definitely a distinct pleasure, and I know that everyone can echo this sentiment. You folks do a bang-up job, to say the very least. We are super thankful for you guys. It looks like we do have Mr. Krejci here to accept, and Mr. Mayor, you want to do the honor?
I would be happy to. Well, thank you very much, sir. This is the least we do is say thank you for everything you guys do day in and day out, every single day. So, thank you, sir, and you're welcome to jump on that mic and tell us all about what you do.
Okay, you guys got plenty of time?
A lot of time. You make enough time
We'll
for
wait till
people
next
attack.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Mr. Krejci is not a big speech maker, but he certainly makes things happen in our community day in and day out, every day. And I have never seen, and I've got to say this, it be more evident than in preparation for our Oil Dorado Centennial celebration. You talk about busting their humps. And I mean, it was hot leading right up to Oil Dorado. And those guys were out there, and they went way above and beyond, including during the course of the pandemic. Out there doing your jobs, keeping the community safe, and a good place to be in spite of all the ridiculousness that came with the pandemic. So thank you all very much for your work. We will, indeed.
Thank you, Chris, very much.
All right. Next up, citizens request public comments. This is the time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comments and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. We have a couple people wishing to address the council this evening. Is that correct? Yes, we do. Edgar Benitez, I believe, is the first name on the list. Edgar, you may approach the podium, please.
Excuse me, do you guys provide translation, or is it okay that I translate for you?
Are you Rosalba? Okay. Yes, you may approach it together. That's fine. You're going to speak on the same matter, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, please, go ahead.
Buenas tardes, Dios les bendiga.
Good afternoon, God bless you guys.
Nuestra visita en este lugar
Our visit here in this place,
es para poder nosotros adquirir un permiso
so we can acquire a permit.
donde queremos marchar por las calles de la ciudad de Taft
We would like to march through the streets of Taft,
para venir orando por las autoridades que son ustedes,
so we may pray for the authorities, which are you guys.
orar por la ciudad.
Pray for the city.
Creemos que la violencia con la oración puede disminuir
We believe violence can decrease with prayer.
y queremos nosotros queremos ser parte de esta ciudad siendo una buena influencia,
We want to
orando
be
por
part
ello.
of this city, being a good influence, praying for it.
Somos una iglesia cristiana que nos hemos puesto al servicio de la comunidad, queremos ayudar en ello.
We are a Christian church that we have put ourselves to your guys' disposition, and we want to help the city.
Y esa es nuestra petición, si
That is our
podemos
petition.
obtener un permiso para poder marchar por la calle de Taft, comenzando en los apartamentos de la Jefferson y terminando en los Monument Park.
Okay, so that is our petition, our request for the city, a permit to go ahead and march in June. We're going to start at Cedar Street, going on to Harrison, where Fast Trip is at, and ending in Workers Monument Park on Main and 6th.
Okay. To be clear, let me tell you the way that it works for public comments. Until a matter is placed on the agenda, the council can take no action. Okay, so what you are afforded this evening is the opportunity to come before us and explain just exactly what your vision is. And that's all well and good, and we appreciate you taking that opportunity. We cannot comment nor take action on your request, but I will tell you this. The city of Taft has a very friendly, well-qualified professional staff that will help you understand just exactly what we can and what we cannot do. And we encourage, community participation. And I'm quite thrilled to see that. And heaven knows we can never have enough prayer for the people nor the city. So all of that is very good. But I appreciate you coming before the council this evening. And you need to make an appointment to take your requests and your ideas before staff. Staff will be happy to help you understand just exactly what we can and what we cannot do to help keep you safe and not let anybody run afoul of the law.
Okay, dice que tienen su proceso para hacer antes de venir a ponerlo aquí. Yeah, an encroachment permit was filled out, so we're going through that. We were trying to get an appointment before we came here, but there was like, I don't know if there was misunderstanding or something, and it got backed up, but like you said, we came and brought it before you, and we
Okay.
thank you guys for hearing our request.
All right, well, we thank
Go
you.
forward with the process.
Yes, please continue with the process.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Madam Clerk, did anybody request public comments by email or any other way?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, then that would be the end of that. Thank you again for coming before the council. Next up, council statements, non-action. Councilman Evelyn, we'll begin with you this evening, sir.
Well, I'm very limited, but I will say that the American Legion is near and dear to my heart. Obviously, they're the ones that I've supported throughout my tenure on the council. As a veteran, I can say I'm very impressed with what they do. And I'm also impressed that they provide an environment up there where the veterans can get together and, for lack of a better term, swap old war stories and feel comfortable in that environment. And it's pretty underrated. But as a veteran, anybody that's been in there, or anybody who knows veterans and know how we are, you can tell that it's very, very good environment for them to be in. So I just want to say personally, thank the American Legion and for all that they do up there.
All right, excellent. Thank you, sir, and thank you for what you do as far as contributing your stipend to the American Legion.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Mayor.
very kind and goes above and beyond, so thank you for that. Councilman Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To piggyback on that, I know most veterans that I'm familiar with are very proud, but they're also very humble. And I'm proud to know when you walk into a place like that, you see a place that honors those folks in a way that I believe is well received amongst veterans at the very least, and amongst those who are not veterans, you get a stark appreciation for all the sacrifices that folks like that made. Some of them gave the ultimate sacrifice, gave their lives to further the mission of the United States of America. And I can say without a doubt that I'm very thankful and proud of that. So kudos again to those guys. This Saturday, I believe, is the celebration, the 22nd. And I know Orchard will talk about that, but I'd like to encourage everybody, please come out, help us again honor the post for being there for a century now, and to honor all of our vets, especially the local members of the Legion. I did want to take a second because I know I've done a lot of this as we've had a lot of recognitions this last month or two. And I want to, again, extend a thank you to Public Works. I mean, I know the city manager, Mr. Jones, also double dips as being our Public Works director. Mr. Krejci was in here earlier, and those guys and gals, you alluded to this, Mr. Mayor, we get more done than most folks do in a city twice our size with half the staff and probably half the budget at best. And I know it's not perfect, I know it's not ideal, but it's a heck of a lot better than it could be if we just relied on the ho-hum that most everyone else relies on. So Craig, to you, thank you. To all your staff in that capacity, thank you. I mean, Dave talks about this all the time. You go by there after a parade and you don't see trash on the ground. You see nice, clean, swept streets and gutters. And that's unheard of. And I'm super thankful for all of it, and that just being an example. I did want to remind everybody and invite everybody out. The Taft Union High School District hired officially a new superintendent last night. Effective July 1st, Dr. Jason Hodgson will be our new superintendent, so I wanted to invite everybody out to the public reception that's being held for him from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I believe it's tomorrow. I know it's tomorrow. I believe it's in the cafeteria. So again, please come out, extend warm wishes, welcome him to town. And on behalf of myself, and I hope again, my fellow council members, I want to extend to Dr. Hodgson a very hearty welcome. Absolutely. Congratulations and good luck. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thanks, sir. Councilman Whiting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to dovetail on the first two councilmen's comments about the American Legion.
They really do a lot for all of our veterans, and we can't say that we appreciate them enough. We just can't. And the fact that they've been doing it for 100 years is a big deal. That's huge. I'd also like to comment on Saturday night. I was able to go to the Hall of Fame inductees for the Taft High School, and got to see Paul Linder introduce our previous mayor, Randy Miller. And all the inductees were very good and very well deserved. The first guy up, Mr. Sorensen, he played a musical instrument rather than a speech, which I thought was pretty slick. But all in all, it was a very good event, and shows the worthwhileness of the inductees, but also of the really good education you get at our high school. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that was there, and congratulations to all the inductees for their honors for 20 and 21. And that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Cryer, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. The council here in our city do support our veterans a lot. We do many things to support, and now it's our 100th anniversary, 100 years here. It's amazing, 100 years. I've been here a short time or anything, but they've been here almost since the beginning of the veteran. But a lot of the veterans going through war and stuff and coming back home, some of them are have issues. You go through a battle, and a firefight and stuff, bomb dropping, grenades, all kind of ordnance coming down and stuff. It affects certain peoples. But we're here for them. Our Taft support it. What hurts me the most, in my experience, is this year more so, being down at the border, seeing the illegal aliens or migrants. I can't use the word illegal because this new common word is migrant, but coming over here, staying at a country club, staying in first-class motels, getting 3 great meals a day, not from the restaurants and stuff, but catered, made special for them, and having the medical coming out there, going to the dentist, all kinds of benefits that our veterans don't even get here. Here they come here needing help, but we're not here to help them. They have more higher priority than all of us, and our veterans that's so much deserving of our help. And another thing too, the veterans that we have are serving our country, they have to, they get the ultimate sacrifice. Who supports the Gold Star mothers, the wives? The only thing they get is the insurance they make from the military. That's it. They could use our help, and we need to help them and support our veterans more than we are doing right now. And I don't understand, why are we doing things that our own people need more help? Take care of our own first. But we have a big heart. We don't mind taking care of people who want to come across. But I'm just getting tired of hearing and seeing that our veterans being neglected in other aspects of our citizenry that could use help too. But I wholeheartedly believe that we need to support our veterans here, support their American Legion. They need to go there and support them. Big part of it. Be there every Friday. Sometimes Saturdays they have things going on there. And talk with the veterans and meet with them, the camaraderie. We have dinners there. Last Saturday of each month we have a steak night there. And it's a great deal to go to. And I just believe that the veterans are big in our hearts. We love our veterans. We love our police officers. We love our city hall, our city staff, what they do for us. And don't get a whole lot of thanks sometimes, but a lot of the veterans love support and be there and thank you and all that. But that's what I have to say on that. This Saturday there will be a nice barbecue there. There'll be a band playing. There'll be all kinds of activities going on. I encourage everybody to come out there and be part of it and show your support. And you'll come back blessed. I think you will be amazed how the veterans would love to see us all there. The second part I have, it kind of coattails on the part there. Being down there, you know, I got kicked out of my motel. I think the people I not know about it, been in the papers, been on all the news down south on several TV stations and stuff. And why I got kicked out, you know, I was paid up to a certain time. It said the state of California took over the motel, and I had to vacate it so they could bring the migrants in for the motel. I was not very happy about that. And I expressed my opinion, and it went a long ways. And it was sad part. They call people unaccompanied children. Unaccompanied. What does unaccompanied mean? You mean a child, 5, 6 years old, can walk all the way from Honduras, Guatemala, all the way here to the border by themselves? Nah. No, they're never going to happen. What I saw there, yeah, there were some young kids there, but they were all they had people with them. They were accompanied. And many of the mothers that were with them were all pregnant. Amazing. Why would they want to come over here? It's like, why not? If you have a baby here, that's their anchor baby. Automatically, they get all the benefits that we get here, and we're going to pay for it. I can't tell you how much money we're paying our taxpayer. California, we have $500 billion that they have in savings. It's going to be spent on programs that ought to go back to the people who are productive in this country here. We pay taxes all our lives. A lot of us aren't going to see a nickel of it. Only the ones that are non-producers, the ones that, what I want to say about non-producers, I'm not talking to ones that are retired or like that. They're very deserving of a lot of help because they're being hurt by inflations and all the costs going up. They need help too. Why can't they use the money there to help our senior citizens earn a limited income? They sure use help. There's so many other areas to help our own people. Our veterans really need the help, especially the ones that had the battle scars. They have to have help. You just can't live out there in the streets and without no home to go to or proper food or proper medicine or anything. They need mental health too. They need a lot of help. And a lot of our own citizens need help that we need to do to it. Use the $100 billion for our own citizenry in here, because what's going to happen is somebody's got to pay for it. They have to raise taxes higher, or your grandchildren, your children, they're going to pay for it one way or another. They're going to pay for it. It's going to be paid back through higher costs, higher taxes. And I just want to stress that because this is not only happening in California, it's happening in other states, other cities and stuff. In a town of El Centro, where their biggest question was, who's going to pay the TOT tax? Is California going to pay for it? Nah, they're going to pay for it. So they're estimating millions of dollars just because of that alone, from the money that you could use to better their community. And what's another thing to bring up is they're doing it really, really quiet. So you don't hear about the news here. You never hear about what's going on on the border. You never hear about all the chaos and things are happening. But down there, it's real. It's very, very bad. But we need to help. We need to help our own citizens first and use the money that we pay our taxes on to take care of our own. And unfortunately, that's my pet peeve for right now because I experienced it. And I didn't like it, and I don't like it for anybody else, because I'm not the only person who had a lot of Hispanic workers who were there in that motel. Other workers were there. They're all Hispanics. They were all figured. They had to be out of there, too. They were kicked out, too. And they weren't very happy either. But I apologize to anybody if I hurt anybody's feelings or took it down, but things are happening that's going to affect all of us. Not only that deal. There's many things in the world that's happening right now that's going to affect all of us. So we need a lot of prayers. I agree. We need a lot of prayers, not only for Taft, but for our country and our California. So I agree. I'm a firm believer of prayers. So that's all I have, Mayor. Sorry to
All right.
go on, but it's sad what's happening. It makes me sick.
Thank you very much, sir. First off, I want to thank Yvette and Renee from Old School for putting three of our favorite colors all across the dais right here. Red, white, and blue. Thank you very much. I mean, it could be in honor of the Legion Post, and that's what we're going to figure. So I want to thank you very much and thank Renee, former council member at Old School. Go see her. It's all about supporting businesses within our community, and obviously, they use their creative genius to support us right here. So thank her, and thank you very much for that. You mentioned the governor's surplus, the $100 billion surplus in the state of California. That's a pretty interesting concept. Let's talk about the $100 billion surplus in the upcoming budget. Of the $100 billion, $27 billion came as COVID relief from the federal government, i.e. the taxpayers. You, me, everybody. It's the taxpayers' money coming back through the feds to the state of California. It's one time. It's not meant for creating social programs that go on for perpetuity. It is one time to deal with the fiscal impacts of the pandemic. Beyond that, the rest of the surplus, some $38 million, is constitutionally protected. It is to go to the schools, and it is to go to paying down debt in compliance with the Constitution and things that are in place. It is not discretionary either. And the governor is talking about how he's going to divvy up this money, where this money is going to go, and he's going to help business. Well, let's talk about business. Talk about employment. Right now, the state of California has recovered about 44% of all the jobs that were lost during the course of the pandemic. That leaves 56% of those jobs unfilled, or those people unable to return to work. Also, if you're a business person, that means that 56% of your employees, and that would probably equate to perhaps 56% of your business, hasn't come back either. During the course of the pandemic, the state of California borrowed $24.3 billion from the federal government to pay unemployment claims, EDD. The governor was told by the federal government of the very real possibility of the fraud and the abuse within the EDD system and chose to ignore it. At last count, some $12 billion worth of unemployment benefits, instead of going to the workers that needed them, went to incarcerated inmates, gone forever. So, $24.3 billion the state of California had to borrow from the federal government. $12 billion of that was fraud. In the governor's proposed budget, because he's got this $100 billion surplus, he's going to give $1.1 billion of that to pay down the debt of the EDD. He's going to pay down $1.1 billion of a brand new $24.3 billion debt. That's not very much, is it? You know who pays the rest of that debt down? Employers, businesses. The same employers and businesses that right now only have 44% of their employees working and 44% of their business activity to pay that additional $23.2 billion worth of debt that's being ignored by our governor. So when you take a hard look at the governor and the money he's waving around and he's trying to make everybody smile, and the reason he's doing that, the reality is that he's doing a terrible job of seeing to the servicing of the debt created during the course of the pandemic and the intent of the relief money coming from the federal government into the state of California. That is the reality of it. And that's all I have to say about that. So, thank you. All right, next up, we have a planning commission report, and we have a planning commissioner here just dying to talk to us. Please step up.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Your planning commission met earlier in the month and approved amendments to the zoning code that will be coming to you sometime in the near future relating to alcohol licensing. Basically, three things were done. One was to amend the code's definitions to match the state's alcohol beverage control definitions so they more closely align with each other. Amendments were made to clarify when the planning director has the authority to approve an application for a license, 41, 20, those kind of things. Mainly, it's in areas where there isn't an overabundance of already existing licenses. And along with that, to clean up again the CUP process, which is required when there is an overabundance of permits requested, and that'll come to the planning commission rather than to the planning director. The third thing that was done was basically a cleanup of the rest of the legislation, just to make it a clearer, a more readable document for anybody who's applying for a license. You should be seeing that in the next couple of meetings or so. That's the budget, pardon me, not budget, that's the budget's on my mind too. Apparently the Legislative Analyst Office said the budget surplus is only 36 billion because she doesn't count all the money that's required to be paid out of the rest of that.
They follow the Constitution, is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Constitutional responsibility, that's amazing
About half of
concept.
that, about half of that money has to go somewhere, so it's not free to be given away to everybody else. Anyways, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much, sir, we appreciate your help. Next up, item number 5, city manager statement. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have an announcement. PG&E contacted us concerning $2,000 worth of grant money that was available for a community project, and with a wonderful project that community member Ed Gaither started, the community Christmas tree. We applied and were accepted the funds to donate to the community Christmas tree.
Fantastic.
Which, to my knowledge, is a modular Christmas tree that will be erected every year during Christmas time, and I believe the function will be handed over to the West Side Rec District to run a program, Christmas programs during the holiday season. So,
That's excellent news.
thank you, PG&E.
All right. Those of you who are not familiar with that project, there's actually a tree, a sign there at Fifth Street Plaza, and they're accepting donations in order to make that a reality. And if ever the city of Taft, if ever we all needed something new and different, and we needed a new tradition so that we could put hope and joy and family and goodness back into our lives, it's now, and that's what's going on there. So if you see it, contribute to it. It's going to be wonderful. Really looking forward to that taking place. All right, next up, item number 6, city attorney statements. Jason.
Thank you, no statements, Mayor.
All right. Lastly, item number 7, future agenda requests. Gentlemen, any future agenda requests?
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor. So to Craig's statement, do we need to ask for an item to be placed on the agenda for that and the upcoming 4th of July celebration? For those 2 items to come on the agenda, or will you guys just place it there?
The chamber will reach out to us in request for the 4th of July.
Okay.
So that'll come to you as soon as we receive that request. On the other item, we'll have to wait and see, but I expect that it will be coming to you on.
Okay, good. So if we don't have to make a request, then I'll leave it there. If we do, I'd like to make that proposition.
Or the 4th of July? Or?
Oh, well, for both if we need it, but
There's not one. So if you were going to place an item on the agenda for a donation to the Christmas tree, you would have to request that.
okay, then I'd like to make that suggestion. If I can get concurrence, I would appreciate it.
I would concur with that.
Here? Aye.
All right.
And it's my understanding the Christmas tree, every $2,000 they receive, it allows it to be so many feet taller. So right now, I think it's scheduled to be 16 feet. So if they raise more, it could be 18, 20, 22, 24.
And the neat thing about it is built in such a manner as if, let's just say they had a successful fundraiser and were able to buy a 16-foot tall community tree. If they raise more funds next year, then they can buy the next section, and it just keeps going higher up and further out as the community grows and the tradition grows. So that is correct.
We all know we don't want a puny tree.
Yeah,
Let's at least go 40 feet.
I'd like to see a Rockefeller Center West.
There you go.
Not Fifth
Beautiful.
Street Plaza.
All right, very good.
Challenge accepted.
Any other future agenda requests, gentlemen? All right, then. We have gotten to the consent calendar, items 8 through 12. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Nobody reached out to you, madam? All right, thank you very much. Those items are item number 8, which would be the minutes of the April 20th regularly scheduled meeting. Item number 9, which is the payment of bills, about $410,000 worth. Item number 10 is the treasurer's report, which the recommendation is a motion to receive and file the treasurer's report for the month of March 2021. Item number 11 is approval of Community Services Officer, STC certified position and restoration of one Public Works Maintenance Worker Equipment Operator position. Recommendation there is, first, approve the job description for the position of Community Services Officer, STC certified at salary range 31.5. Secondly, adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft amending the position classification plan and establishing corresponding compensation rates for the Community Services Officer, STC certified in equipment operations / maintenance worker." Lastly, item number 12, SB1 City of Taft project for fiscal year 2021-2022. Recommendation there is a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft adopting a list of projects for fiscal year 2021-2022 funded by SB1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. Does any member of the council wish to remove any of these items from the consent calendar? Hearing none, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 8 through 12.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer?
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn?
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting?
Yes.
And Mayor Norris.
Yes, and that passes on a 5-0 vote. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, that is the end of our open session portion of this evening's meeting. We will be going into closed session for the following items. Item A, threat to public services, consultation regarding COVID-19 impacts to public facilities and services. Government Code Section 54957. Item B, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9B, 2 potential cases. Item C, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9A, case number BCV-20-1000096. Lastly, item D, conference with labor negotiator Craig Jones, city manager, Government Code Section 54957.6, all units. I want to thank you all for being a part of this evening's meeting. We are adjourned to closed session.